Hey, welcome to another escape route stream. I'm going to apologize for the state of my appearance. I've been sorting out the office all day, and it's very grueling work. Been doing the office now for 2 days in a row. The office, you could see the floor yesterday. You can't currently because everything's had to move around, but I'm in the process of moving all my games and DVDs onto the bookcase and the various storage, and moving all the stuff that, my mum's books, my dad's equipment back into storage. Basically reclaiming the place, the space as my own. And it's been quite challenging. So I'm very warm and very sweaty. So basically what I'm saying is, forgive me if my appearance freaks you out. All sweaty and shit. Amazing how much work goes into sorting out a space like that. And there's still tons more work to go. So, fucking tripped. I'm gonna have a bruise on this arm tomorrow.
A thriller I supposedly wrote is coming true. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I was told that Alice had been kidnapped, but that was a lie.
We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is.
Her purported kidnapper was eaten up by the dark presence before it attacked me.
And now I've woken up in the loony bin.
Alan, shh, baby. It was just a nightmare.
Alice.
There you go, Alan.
Hartman. I fell.
I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period.
What?
Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode.
It's
You're
cold
a patient
cactus
at my
juice.
clinic. Have been for a while now.
I myself some chocolate.
Shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you're
I have a mental illness, and this chapter is called The Truth.
Undifferentiated
So do I have a mental illness?
It's okay, Alan. Just let go.
I felt groggy. Whatever Hartman had bumped in me was making me numb. I felt like this was happening to someone else. Someone I was watching on television. I couldn't think.
I get that feeling most days, though. Like I'm watching myself on a screen.
I was a prisoner here.
Good evening, Alan. Are we feeling better now? Feeling calm?
Yeah, I see you brought your pet gorilla with you. So sure, I'm calm. I get the message, loud and clear.
Quite right. That's the spirit. You're being very brave, Alan. I understand you're confused. I would be more concerned if you weren't.
I think this was where I turned off on the Xbox 360 back in the
Big of
day.
you.
Because it was taking too long.
Why don't you come with me? We'll reacquaint you with my clinic and go over everything you might have forgotten. Little walk and some fresh air? Yes, it will do you good. This corridor is for patients. Most of them aren't here right now. Jack took them out for a fishing trip, except for the ones who are particularly
They're still awake.
vulnerable, of course.
All I'm doing is proving that Alan does have a mental illness, because instead of following Hartman, I'm walking into all the other rooms.
Creativity is a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. I specialize in treating artists.
Aha! Mr. Hartman, you can't stop me. I'm Alan Wake. I'm the sane one.
I bet you do.
Splendid, Alan. I honestly believe we can get this thing under control if we work together. This way, Alan.
Back in the day, an auto-scroller like this would just put me off a game completely.
I need to get right into the heart of the matter as quickly as I can after an episode. So I'm just going to say this. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a very vulnerable state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned, and you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations, paranoid delusions, unusual thinking.
Can I punch him again?
Obsession about light and darkness.
My wife's not
A
dead.
feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts.
He's
and
just frozen.
dreams. Your mind
We
is
can find a cure for
constructed in
cancer. We're going to
elaborate
thaw out
fantasy
Alice, and she's going to be pretty pissed off.
in which your
Do you know why?
writings are affecting reality.
Have you ever taken a cold
She's
shower?
been kidnapped and supernatural
Multiply
forces
that by
of darkness are
15
trying
million
to
times. That's how pissed off Alice is going to be. It's amazing. I can have my fan going, and it won't come up
We go this way,
unless,
Alan.
like, I'm
I
speaking.
wasn't ready for another shot, so I went along with
That's
it.
incredible.
He had to be lying.
This NVIDIA voice removal stuff, when it works, is fantastic.
To believe his words.
Hello, Dr. Hartman. Ha 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 ha, no. Fuck you, Mr. Hartman. Sundial. Wait. In memory of a dear friend and a poet, Thomas Zane. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated. Thomas Zane.
It's all in your head. You've been making it up. Apart from the tragic accident with your wife, no one has been killed. Your delusions are just a manifestation of your subconscious mind trying to protect you from the too painful truth. Unless we fight the fantasy, it will return. I know the instinct is to resist me, but think about it. Doesn't this make far
You're a
more
skeptic
sense
by
than the
nature. You don't
insane
believe any of this.
supernatural conspiracy you have concocted in your mind? You're a skeptic
I don't
by
know.
nature, Alan.
I've been chased by shadow men with axes who have cleaved me through my skull, alright? I ain't imagining this. There's no island in Cauldron Lake, and there never was.
Get tired of this view. Very inspiring, isn't it?
I think I
The
made that
lake
joke last
spread
time.
Below us. I could see Mirror Peak on the other side of the lake. I thought I could make out the spot where Diver's Isle had been when I arrived with Alice. Now there was nothing but waves.
It's even called Diver's Isle, and she
Storm coming. Funny, I don't
went for a
recall
dive.
a mention of that in the weather forecast. Well, no matter. This way. Follow me. Alan, what I'm telling you is good news. Right now we're in control. Every time you have a relapse, it gets more and more difficult to resurface from the dark depths of your imagination. Not surprising, considering your profession. Imagination is what you work with. After all your nightmares, this should come as an immense relief to you. If it doesn't, why is that? Because I'm lying? Or because you don't want to admit that you're not well? It's very natural for you to think of me as your enemy. It's part of the
I
illness.
let him talk.
After all,
Hartman
I'm the
obviously
one
loved
trying
his
to
own
bring you
voice.
out of the
His
world
words
you've
echoed
constructed
madly
for
inside
yourself.
my head.
But
I dug
can't
my
do
nails
it
into
by
the palms of my
myself.
hands to stay
You need
focused.
to work with me. Once you accept that, we can begin the journey towards your recovery. Come
There
on,
is no recovery.
let's go inside. Here's the entrance to the office.
Excuse me, ma'am.
It's for staff only.
I pulled out my gun and fired 2 shots between his eyes.
Don't want to run into me in the night, that's for sure.
One shot to
Please,
kill him,
Emerson.
and the second one to
Wake
make
is
sure.
confused enough as it is.
Yeah, you'd like me to go away so you won't be scared. But you can't just decide what kind of dream you have or when you have it.
Emerson,
Okay. Sorry. Boo.
that's Emerson. We're actually making some progress.
He works on video games.
He works on
Elbow
video
strike.
games.
Ooh, yeah.
It's trash, of course, but it does
Get
involve
'em
some
to the head.
small creative effort, which makes him receptive to my therapeutic methods.
No kidding.
He works on video games. Bless him. That's a pretty stressful thing to work on.
Now, you might have noticed the
We're making great progress with him. He's a streamer.
as a part of the therapy.
He streams video
If you're up
games.
to it, you should
It's all trash, but it makes him susceptible to my methods. Oh hey!
Rheumatism's killing me.
That's my favorite old
There's a
rockers.
storm coming. Oh, what a storm.
I hope it wipes this place off the face of the earth.
And
I hope it
these
wipes your
two
face
are
off the face of the earth.
from
Oh, ho,
brothers
ho, ho.
Odin and Thor.
Waldorf and Statler here.
How should I put this? A heavy metal band in the 70s and 80s called Old Gods of Asgard.
The old gods of Asgard, yeah.
They even adopted new first names to complete the image of Viking gods. After the band broke up, they lived on a farm nearby. They are, well, in advanced stages of dementia.
Advanced stages of
They're well
dementia.
cared for.
I shouldn't laugh about that.
And all that, there's nothing more that can be done.
That's like Britain's biggest killer at the moment.
Rock and roll lifestyle has left its mark. Oh, that won't do. I'm so sorry to cut this short for now, Alan. The power has been acting up. I'd better go check on it. We'll continue this soon. Meanwhile, when you feel up to it, return to your room and try to write. It really is for the best. Don't you think?
Return to your room and try to write.
He's heading with a hammer.
Oh, he'd love to fish out our secrets, but he has no clue. He's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny.
I do love these guys.
Being crazy's a requirement, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Zane! You're alright, Tom. Hey, we like him, don't we, bro? He's gotta go to the farm.
The Anderson Farm. Valhalla!
We wrote it all down, lest we'd forget. A crash course. All you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message.
Here, Sonny, here's something for you. Gave me a rash, but I kept it safe from these bastards.
My head was clearing up, or according to Hartman, I was sinking back into the fantasy. I was convinced he was lying to me about everything. Crazy or not, the Andersons made more sense.
Tom, got any booze on you?
Ain't gonna booze.
No.
We have a stash of the special stuff at the farm. Our own formula. Local ingredients. Medicine clears your head right up. Makes you remember like moonbeams on the brain.
Moonbeams on the brain. I could do with some of that.
Leather patches on the elbow.
I am absolutely exhausted.
Rock and roll.
Tom just lost is all.
Sorting the office out is hard work. I stole the thermos. Hartman would be displeased, but he thinks I'm a twat anyway. So what do I care? Creative flow.
I'll do that, Birch.
Hey, Wake, why don't you humor Dr. Hartman and give the writing a shot, huh?
The doors were
Typewriter's in
locked.
your room.
Hartman and the nurses would have keys, but there was no way to get my
You
hands
can
on
get to
them.
your room by those
Punch them,
stairs, Wake.
punch them, punch them. Punch them and get the keys. You're being held here against your own free will.
Something's Hartman had mentioned that the power had been acting up. Maybe that was the reason for the generator and the work light on the balcony. The generator hadn't been activated, and there was no key.
Have been for days, but it's always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not human. A dark presence.
Another QR code.
That woman's face. She was covered in clinging shadows.
Ah, go on. What the heck?
I think I've made a horrible mistake. I don't think I'm any closer to saving Alice. It's been lying to me, using me to
Let's
get
hear
the
it.
story it wants, and the story will come true.
Beginning.
Hartman wanted
A
me to write.
primordial
I
forest.
knew I couldn't, but I
The
figured
colors
I
of
could
the fall.
play along for now. It was
The
the
mist.
only thing I could do with
A caldera lake.
like a hawk.
Silence echoes. Loud.
Hey, hey.
It's too late to hear the words. The man, naked, crawls to the shore. Like a birth? To say that would be a lie. Nothing like a birth. The opposite. He staggers to his feet. A carcass of a deer lies on the shore, rotting, amidst driftwood. The man is afraid, beside himself. Who is he? He doesn't himself know. Dark waves have washed it away. A blank page where this horror story will be written. He remembers darkness, feels the shadow pressing down on him, coming after him. He must get away. He runs to the forest, to a fate worse than death.
I love that there's little snippets you can get on YouTube by scanning QR codes.
The white glare of the blank page
Hey, hey.
instantly hurt my eyes.
I'm not sure if there's a Radio Shack in Bright Falls.
My hands began to shake uncontrollably.
I am so exhausted. I have worked myself to the bone these past 2 days.
Hey, Wake, you stay here. I'm gonna go see what's up. You just keep doing what you're doing. Be cool, okay?
I didn't know what the chaos was all about, but it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Friendly poke from Mjolnir.
Afraid of the crazy brothers, are ya? Not so weak now, are we? Well, things are unraveling fast, aren't they?
Well, we don't have Radio Shacks over here. I think we had at some point.
That wasn't a love tap. The crazy old fart hit her hard. If she was one of Hartman's
The shop
goons,
that,
she
like,
had it coming.
superseded. Yeah. The shop that superseded Radio Shack. That was Maplin, and that's more or less gone now.
I could get the key to his office from his father. I had to get to Hartman's office. He had taken all my manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
Go to Phil Hartman's office. Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
The markings on the tape said they were recordings Hartman had made at the sessions with his patients. I saw Alice's name on one of them. For a moment, I couldn't breathe right.
He's getting violent. He's going to parties. Please, baby, no more parties in LA. I think you should leave Alan alone. Like, he's clearly suffering.
What would you say to him if he'd listen?
I don't know. I want to say, I look at you, and it's not you. Just some stranger who resembles you. Looking out from behind your eyes. And I don't like that guy much.
Alice was upset.
Now it's all gonna go to hell.
But you don't ever
She was walking around and throwing her handbag.
He's not listening.
She was complaining about her ugly hair and how her fat ass looked horrible in her dress. Oh, no, not working. I'm on holiday this week. I have been working on The Office all day past 2 days. the space that will one day be my streaming content creation space, because I'm still doing everything out in my bedroom, which is not ideal. Get the office all set up. That'd be great. So currently, I'm in the process of like getting all my DVDs and Blu-rays onto the shelving units. That's when you realize just how many Blu-rays and DVDs you have. Now, I love collecting DVDs and Blu-rays, but I think I'm gonna have to start being more realistic about how many I have. Downscaling.
In it, the clinic staff was standing outside the lodge. I knew the man next to Hartman. He was the kidnapper. Hartman had been playing me all along.
Let me out of here! Hartman, do you hear me? I'm gonna chew your crazy quack ass to shreds!
Barry? Ow! About time! Barry! Man,
What are you doing in here?
We need to get to Hartman's office.
It's right next door.
You okay?
Why's Barry here? Nothing makes sense.
All the pages I had on me. And more.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea...
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability...
Shoot him! Ah. You have to get a mini fridge. So, fun fact. Right now, my PS5 is sitting on top of a cardboard box that contains a 14-liter cooler. And I'm looking forward to finally plugging that in tomorrow. That's one of the big ones tomorrow. It's getting that all set up. Wait, the game got rid of my super duper flashlight. Yeah, the power's working now. Give me that thermos. Obviously not everything, but did it clear that doorway? It's a good, it's a great cooler. We had some on clearance, like, I think it was not last year, but the year before. There was a voucher thing going on whereby, because we had hit our Christmas sales targets, everybody got vouchers. And we got like 2 separate weeks worth of vouchers, so they just got combined together by management. and I spent the entire voucher on the cooler. Bought a cooler with the voucher, and that's been sitting there waiting to go for like well over a year. So Hartman was pretending to be a doctor all along. Well, pretending to be my doctor all along. What are you stocking up with it first? This is going to sound boring, but you know more than anyone else the importance of it. Water? Absolutely water. That was a 24-pack, 12 liters of water, and it was heavy. It still is heavy, even though I've had a couple of them.
Mary, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al. That's a shit flashlight. And I lost my batteries. Recover my flashlight. It's all lifting heavy boxes now. That's what the job is. Like, in terms of furniture where I want it, furniture is where I want it. At some point down the line, I will buy a proper desk, because the desk that's in there was rammed into a corner, like, between two walls. And when it was rammed into that corner, it was, let's just say its structural integrity was diminished. As a result of its structural integrity becoming impaired, it's now the top of a desk that's, like, standing lodged inside, like, a tight space, with the desks, like, the desk drawers and stuff sitting underneath it, with a noticeable gap between the top shelf and the drawers. So basically, that needs replacing. But that's a once all the DVDs, games are all in the office and on the storage shelves. The desk is a matter for after that. I don't want to end up working myself too hard to the point where I never want to do anything with that room again. But the fact of the matter is, I inherited that room a while ago, and then I proceeded to do very little work with it. And the truth is, I have wasted too much time. This week off that came out of nowhere was kind of like the perfect opportunity to do something. Scratch has just subscribed. Yeah. As in Mr. Scratch. Was that a Stephen King character, or was that a Alan Wake character? Because there's a bit of an overlap, I think, between Mr. Scratch and Alan Wake. I think there was an Alan Wake character. I called the darkness Mr. Scratch. Because every time I scratch my balls, I think of the darkness. Stop raising the difficulty level. I'm good. Stop sending more goons at me. All I heard was, "'cause the fact is," and then I got an ad. Whoops. I can't remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah, so I haven't done anything with that room since I inherited it. I've wasted too much time. You know? The sooner I had that space ready, you know, the sooner I can make, like, model building streams a thing again. The sooner I'll have the space to do stuff like that. Fucking hell. How many shots does he need? There's difficulty, and then there's making your enemies spongy for no reason. The sooner I get that space sorted out, the sooner I can use it. Like, the way I've got the games on the shelves already, that's a fantastic position to do face to camera. The sooner I go through what I have and I take inventory, the better. Oh, it's Phil Hartman. Emil Hartman. Fucking hell. Did we really need birds on top of Hartman? I don't think we needed birds on top of Hartman. I think that's just padding. Arbitrary difficulty. I'm doing what I can with the time that I have allocated to me through this week off. I've spent so much money on plastic storage just to try and make sense of the space that I have. I'm never going to be completely happy with the setup, but... I'm at the place I was expecting to be in a month's time. So, I'm making very good progress. But it's where I could have been a year ago. Had I said, right, I am gonna spend 3 days doing this. So I'm kind of annoyed with myself that it took this long. Things that I can use that room for the channel is a plus. But just being able to use that room for other things that I want to use it for. So, not as much traction as I would have hoped. But yeah, it seems like the shorter meme shit does really well. So I think I just need to make more sort of shorter meme videos. And if it's Mario themed, that's probably going to do quite well. I definitely do intend to put a Mario game on next month's Action Game poll, so I expect that'll get all the votes, but, you know. Alan Wake has become something of a, an obligation. Because it was this month's Action Game poll winner. And then, well, you know everything that happened this month. I wanted time off that I couldn't have at work, and then I had to deal with Summer Games Fest happening at the same time. So, I ended up going to work solid the week of Summer Games Fest, and I ended up covering like every stream, or almost every stream. So that ended up being very challenging at the start of this month. Of course, as a result, Alan Wake got a bit, I guess, pushed to the wayside. Problem with that is that Alan Wake is one of those games where it's hard to go back to if you spend a little bit of time away. That's Barry. So I found it difficult to come back to Alan Wake. But I haven't walked away from a poll winner yet. And I don't intend to walk away from a poll winner, ever. So, Alan Wake won the poll, and I will see Alan Wake through. That's another thing I can use this week for. So this week is being used for sorting out that office, and it's being used for finishing Alan Wake.
Let's get out of here. Can you open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry.
Well, I slammed it shut when the nasty showed up, and the key fits kind of loose in the lock, so,
Barry!
I'll find it. Don't worry about it.
Ah, I'm glad you felt informed. I did try. Favorite biscuit? That's a tricky one. If it was like, here's a like a biscuit box, what biscuit am I picking? Like, if every biscuit is there. I know exactly which biscuit, but I'm struggling to find the name of it. Okay, yeah. So they come under many different names. Over here they're called a jam and cream, but they're also known as a jam ring. Yeah, this is the one I'd be drawn to first, I think, out of a biscuit tin. It's where I go first. Bourbons are great, love bourbons. Custard creams are nice, but it would be either this or it would be a chocolate digestive. I do like Hovis as well, but that is just digestive in the shape of a loaf of bread. There's nothing ultimately special about it besides the shape of the biscuit. Fucker! Hunting rifle it is. Now, I keep stockpiling the weapons, because I might need them later, and then something happens story-wise, and all my guns are taken away. I miss the high-powered flashlight I had. That shit was dope. Why are you spawning more? Is that birds as well? You can fuck right off. Oh, fuck off. More guys? You gotta understand, these guys can deal damage very quickly. Woo! Intense. Oh, that chocolate got warm.
Al, please tell me we're headed for the nearest "You're now leaving Bright Falls. Come back soon" sign.
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this. When this is through, if we make it, I don't care what anybody says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
We're going to the Anderson farm. Shit!
I'm crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the
But
craziest.
maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps.
This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too far gone to tell me with all the drugs they were on. But they wrote it down. There's a message somewhere at their farm, Barry. We just need to find it.
Look out!
I had to crawl to the Anderson farm. There was a metal pipe lodged in my stomach.
God damn it, Al, talk to me!
I left my gun in the car. That's why I don't have a gun now.
I had lost my gun in the crash.
Yep.
Barry was nowhere to be seen.
That's why they made a big deal of him putting it down on the dash.
Oh, man, you're okay! Jeez, it's good to hear your voice! I was trying to get out of the car, but the ground gave way. Man, what a drop! Don't worry, your cutout is fine.
Forget that! Are you okay?
I hit some bushes, didn't get a scratch. There's no way you can climb down, though. It's like a sheer wall.
I think Geo Wizard could find his way down there.
Down here.
Barry, it's a taken! Use a flare, Barry!
Oh, yeah!
Barry, are you alright?
I'm good, Al. I'm great. Guess you never messed with anyone from New York City before, huh?
If Barry's so good at dealing with the Taken, you know, then let us play as Barry.
Just wait for me, okay?
Give us Barry mode, where he kills enemies in one hit. And cracks wisecracks the whole time. Cracks wise, I think, would be the correct term.
Now he's Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with Barry.
Great. Trees have fallen. Fucking hell. This bullshit again? Vamos!
Don't worry about it. I'm on the case.
Now he's Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with Barry.
It didn't count as having collected the thermos, you son of a bitch. Woo! Got the thermos. Thermos sounds like a good idea.
Shadows crawled over the gate. I needed a light to destroy them to get through.
Ooh, manuscript page.
I I hoped there'd still be a working generator somewhere around here to power up the old lights by the gate.
Thanks for the subtle clue, Alan. I appreciate it.
I could sense the movement in the woods ahead. Facing the enemy without a weapon was
Oh, nice.
dangerous,
Someone
but
left
I
a
had no
flashlight
choice.
lying around. Trust no one in the dark. Barry's in the dark right now. Barry, no! I love Barry. Barry would never betray me. If Barry betrayed me, I'd be fed up with this world. No batteries for it, though. And no gun. I mean... Still in a tough spot. You've got to be fucking shitting me. Wow. That was tough. Nope. That's right. Way next.
A car was driving away from the farm, headed in the same general direction as I was. For all I knew, it was Barry, caught in the consequences of leaping before looking.
I don't think it's Barry, though. Oh, thank God for that. Super flashlight. I got the super flashlight back. All is right with the world now.
The car was heading for the cabin up ahead. It wasn't far. If it was Barry, I would see the damage soon.
Okay. Too bad. Checkpoint reached.
I'm trying to deliver each page to the right time and place. I'm trying to show you how the story goes.
I had seen glimpses of the light before. I had seen it in my dream. It was a strange spaceman or a diver in a bulky suit. He was the one who'd been placing the pages on my path.
Diver. Man in a diving suit was delivering pages of the manuscript to me. Thomas Zane. If this is all a game by Thomas Zane.
Someone had left a gun behind. Now I had a fighting chance of reaching the farm.
The taken are filled with darkness. Believe it in the color. Oh wait, different darkness. My thermos. Gonna let you take my thermos away from me. They're gonna release these limited edition thermos to celebrate the release of the sequel. But the thermos in this game are basically thermos that already exist. So you can buy the actual thermos that it's based on for like a couple of bucks. Or you can shell out for the special Alan Wake 2 thermos that looks exactly the fucking same. You all know what all the fanboys are going to shell out for? Right. Now, if all those people could leave me alone, that'll be great. Oh! The chances, eh? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. How many? And why did you dodge in that direction, Alan? Why did you dodge into the path of the other enemies? Oh no! Come on! Maybe I'm missing a trick. Maybe there's a generator. Oh, come on! Okay, the game wants me to somehow beat them. I don't have any flares. Stop talking about the fucking flares. I don't have any flares. Thanks. Line shots is not going to be enough to deal with these assholes. The game's not going to spawn any more shells. Three guys! 5 bullets! It's not gonna work. Stop spawning them! Son of a bitch! In the fucking light! Crumbs. This game really doesn't have to be this bullshit, you know?
There was no sight of the driver.
There really is no need for it to be this bullshit.
Hello? Anybody here? Barry?
No! Danny, you're not! Please! What are you? No! Don't! I'm sorry!
Oh, the flare! I could have done with that earlier! When I was getting chased by a bunch of assholes. I also want to know why Alan can't run with a flare. Like, what's so difficult about running with a flare? You know? No, when he's holding the flare, he has to walk really slowly. Can't just, like, run with it.
I know you. You were in jail the other day.
I went to the farm again for the moonshine, you know? It makes you see. They're not gonna miss it. They're in the loony bin. My buddy, Danny, I lost him. Something's gone wrong with him. It's not him. Like a real bad follow-up to a real good movie.
Who wrote this crap?
Suddenly the bad guy. Who wrote this crap anyway?
I wrote this crap. Prepare to die, old man. The old man died in front of me. He pissed himself and shat himself. And the smell was so awful it made me vomit. I vomited all over his dead carcass. And then some crows came and picked him to pieces.
I've run through every possible course in my head. If I continue like the Dark Presence wants me to, the story I'm writing won't save Alice. It's a horror story, and it's going to kill her, and me, and everybody in this town. No one will survive. Darkness will consume everything. This is what it's wanted all along. It will be free, unstoppable. It used Alice to get to me, dangled her in front of me to keep me going. It was never going to release her.
Vapor
I'm
rub.
going to change this. I'll escape. I've written myself.
I like that stuff. I like the way that stuff smells.
This feels like a terrible risk, but it's the only way to save Alice. I'll be bound by the events of the story just as much as anyone else who's been woven into it. The story must stay true for this to work. There have to be victims along the way, near escapes, cliffhangers. In a horror story, it can't be certain that the hero will succeed or even survive. He almost has to die. I'll write my own escape into the story next. I need help. Zane's going to be the one who will help me.
Tiger Balm is great stuff. I should really get some for work. Whenever I've got a headache, I should just massage some into my temples. Try to avoid using painkillers unless I absolutely have to. Tiger Balm's a good alternative. Fucking hell!
Let me guess. Danny, huh?
Hey, Danny got us our escape route,
The farm
though.
is still a good distance away. I'd need a car to get there fast.
You said escape route. Normally I would drink when I say escape route, but I think after being so exhausted from all that DIY, drinking is not a good idea.
If Barry wasn't up here, he was probably in trouble down at the farm. For a moment, I felt bad for doubting him. After all, I'd made it this far myself. But Barry was Barry.
Why did you get... My brother in Christ. Get back in the car. It would appear there's a secret here. the cool bottle on your joints. Sometimes, you know, when I'm washing my hands, I just run the tap on the wrists and then I just contact the wrists together. And that tends to cool me down. Cold water on the wrists and then pressing the wrists together. Like, I don't know if that actually helps, but it helps for me. They leave all these cars dotted around the game world, but you can only drive them in very specific circumstances and situations. Paper rose. Like getting paper and folding it up into a rose shape. Ooh. You have got to be kidding. How about a kiss for luck? La, we're off. Looks like I'm forced to get out of my car here. Try and get a car through that gap. Oh, come on. That's padding. Ah, to make a gift. I was recently going through my Xbox games, and Stranglehold is an interesting game. And there's a video on the Stranglehold game gallery that teaches you how to fold a paper crane. That might be a fun thing to learn. Because it would be like a conversation starter if you just at a barbecue or whatever and you fold a paper crane out of a napkin. I hate the way this game punishes you for exploring. Like, a decent game doesn't punish you for exploring. This game does. And I still don't know why it does, but it does. What's that? You found a secret stash? Oh, we're gonna spawn 2 enemies just to punish you. It's one of my major criticisms for this game. You shouldn't be punished for exploring. In like a classic boomer shooter in an FPS, right? If you find a wall and you push it and, you know, it opens up and it reveals a secret area, yeah, most of the time that secret area isn't swarming with enemies. Most of the time. Oh! This bit.
God damn.
I hope you like Poets of the Fall. I hope you like Content ID claims.
I'm so glad you decided to go it alone, Mr. Bronson.
Shut up and shoot.
I remember my brother playing this bit on hardcore mode. You get used to the song after a while. It shouldn't be too bad on this difficulty. Oh, for fuck's sake. Making things from game crafts. Today I learned how to make the penetrator from Saints Row. It can even penetrate. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. I mean, they worked very close together on the Dreamcast and on the original Xbox. They have a history of working together. And I'm sure Sega can relate, you know. When Sega were trying to make it big, Sony stomped them down. They're seeing the same way that Sony's been trying to stomp down Xbox now, and I think Sega can relate, you know? Heavy duty lantern? Damn! Where was that when I needed it? Fuck me dead! Stop spawning enemies on top of me! If I don't see the enemy throw the item, it shouldn't hurt me. What kind of logic is that? Wait. Sorry, a lantern that runs on what? Double A's? Almost all lanterns run on, like, D-cell or C-cell. Your horror game isn't realistic anymore, Mr. Lake. Please update it so it's more believable. Microsoft should buy Square Enix. Because it would basically be the we're not fucking around moment, you know?
Bright Falls, rock and roll capital of America.
It would be the perfect we're not fucking around message. Right? If Microsoft comes along and says, yeah, Chrono Trigger remake is ours. And Sony goes, and they just go, our company now. Our rules. I would love to see it. Exclusives are bad for the consumer, full stop. Everything should be available on everything. God of War should be on Xbox. Halo should be on PlayStation. But, you know, ignoring that wild and somewhat ridiculous belief I hold, if one company is going to play dirty, then the other company should be allowed to play dirty as well. If Sony plans to play dirty by keeping Final Fantasy VII, Square Enix's biggest seller, off of Xbox and off of Switch, then Microsoft should be allowed to turn around and say, yeah, Starfield, only on Xbox. It's perfectly valid. At least in the case of Starfield, it's a company Xbox owns. I think it's still wild, the play that Microsoft did with Starfield. Because it's come out that Microsoft bought Bethesda because they had heard that Sony was planning to make Starfield a PlayStation exclusive. And if Sony had done that, it would have been over for MS. It's beautiful the way that Microsoft basically played Sony at their own game. The only way that they could outbid Sony on an exclusivity deal was to buy the company developing and publishing the game. That is some, like, top tier playing the system. But it shouldn't have had to be done. The whole exclusives thing is just, it pisses me off so much. Ooh. Long line of people. Man. I haven't felt so, like, energetic in such a long time. Just seeing something that needs to be done and getting to grips with it, something really potent about that. The weirdo in a diving suit is a dream. The girl made of smiles and sunshine is a dream. This has more relevancy to the situation than Barry Wheeler might think. Yeah. Usually Nightfall's episodes end with like, and that's why you shouldn't do drugs and drive, kids, on the next Nightfalls. Night Springs. I miss that show from Max Payne 2. That's like a period drama. Oh, I do say.
almost like
What
a
a
battery.
stunning corset or whatever. What did you say about buying a studio and becoming a publisher? That if Microsoft bought Square Enix, that would be such a badass play. Basically, Sony wanted to make Starfield a PlayStation exclusive, so Microsoft bought Bethesda to stop Sony from making Starfield a PlayStation exclusive. It makes me wonder if Sony was planning to make COD an exclusive. Because they already get great deals with COD. Were they planning to... When they negotiated COD next year, do you think they were planning to negotiate a PlayStation exclusivity for COD? Well, I mean, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. So Microsoft has to swoop in and buy Activision Blizzard King to stop Sony doing that. The only way Microsoft can beat the competition that is stacked against them is to play dirty. And it's absurd that it has to work that way. It's absurd that Microsoft has to buy companies in order to compete fairly. Now, the FTC and the CMA are like, Nintendo is different to PlayStation and Xbox because PlayStation and Xbox are high-powered consoles and the Switch is a low-power market. And they're a different market and there's no overlap, right? Bullshit. It's all the same market. And Xbox is losing. Hell, forget losing. Xbox has lost. Xbox lost last generation, and they're struggling to stay in the running now. They have to buy companies in order to compete. And it shouldn't have to be that way. But that's how it is. That's where Xbox finds themselves. And when Xbox buys a studio, it's not organic. It's bad for the industry. It's anti-consumer, and buying exclusivity on these games is evil. When Sony buys a studio, it's Sony is keeping up its long-running stance of obtaining studios and acquiring studios. Blah 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 blah. It's all positive. Don't think I haven't noticed, like, the difference in the press between when Microsoft does something and when Sony does something. It's not subtle. It's about as blatant as it gets. I think it's highly likely that that would have happened. That Xbox would have lost COD. It's a good thing that Activision Blizzard knows that a great deal of their COD-playing audience is still on Xbox. And to take that away from Xbox is to lose a revenue stream. Right? Activision Blizzard King gets it. Sony... If Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard King, they won't release COD on our system. Nanny the fuck? Oh yeah, you would cut off a revenue stream that you know exists? Why would you cut off a revenue stream you know exists? Sure, a new IP? Absolutely, go ahead. Make that new and exclusive to a platform. But Microsoft is not going to go, oh great, we own COD now. Not on Sony. That would never happen. They would lose so much money. Of course that would be a foolish thing. But you know, Sony doesn't understand it. The FTC doesn't understand it. It's pretty clear that you buy a company like that, you do nothing to change up how things work. You do nothing to change nothing. You know? Keep things the way they were.
Wow, those geezers had
Because you know that's how you make the money.
If we make it through this alive, I'm gonna start representing them.
Microsoft wouldn't take COD away from Sony. They wouldn't cost themselves a revenue stream.
Good luck with that, pal.
They wouldn't do it. There would be no need.
I'm gonna take a closer look at this stuff.
Now, if Microsoft then got Activision Blizzard to develop something new for them, it'd be quite different. Now, I am curious about, you know, if a Deathloop 2 comes out, if a Deathloop 2 comes out, if a Ghostwire 2 comes out, what is going to be Microsoft's play there? Are they going to drop them exclusively on Xbox? Or would they have them come to other platforms?
Be careful, Al!
I'd like to think they would bring them to other platforms as well. Didn't take that many shots!
I'm good. Keep your eyes open, okay?
That's called spongy enemies. That's called padding. You have to think how many shots they take on the hardest difficulty. I don't even want to think about Nightmare difficulty. I'm never playing it. I have better things to do than stressing myself out. A little bit of challenge is fine.
As you regular listeners know, I tend to work through the night, but I'm not the only one. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton are taking a couple of moments off their busy schedule to join me here in the studio. Boys, how busy are you now? Deerfest is almost here, isn't it? I bet that keeps you in business.
Pretty busy, yeah. Actually, Pat, we've been real busy with other stuff, which concerns an ongoing investigation. We can't talk about that, Thornton. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just saying we got, you know, other irons to fry.
And how would you compare your workload to last year's? Things have seemed relatively peaceful to me, but people do tend to get a little wild this time of year.
Oh, it's wild, Pat. It's pretty wild. There's been all sorts of trouble this year.
People going missing.
Fighting, public disturbances.
Thomas Sane.
People going missing, too. Yeah, it's pretty much the usual stuff, Pat. Just, you know, a lot more of it.
Now, is it just me, or does Deerfest get wilder every year? People seem to be more drunk, at least, or they start earlier and younger.
Oh, it's definitely not just you, Pat, but definitely, Pat. Hey, I'm talking here, Thornton. Oh, shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Not just me.
Oh, yeah, it's wilder, Pat, but actually most of the trouble seems to be coming from grown men.
Grown men, people who want to know better. You talking about me?
Well, that's nice to hear at least. Boys, I want to thank you for stopping by. I'll let you get back to your patrol.
Sure thing, Pat. Yeah, sure thing, Pat.
This is a tall building. Batteries.
I could see the building that had to be the Andersons' home on the other side of the field. It wasn't far now. I wasn't worried about trusting the ramblings of two burned-out geriatric wrecks. They had the goods.
Geriatric Rex. All the other kids, Geriatric Rex. Geriatric Rex also sounds like a dinosaur that they just discovered. Scientists have just discovered the Geriatric Rex. It walks about on 4 feet in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening.
Got to be kidding me.
Well, I got a brand new combine harvester, and I'll give you the key. I feel like that should have been harder. Not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, though. That's a lot of cows and pigs. Oh, Barry!
Is that you out
I
there,
had to
buddy?
find a key to get Barry out.
Yeah, it's me. Hang on. I'll try to find a key to get the door open.
Oh, it would have been great if the game had said, I need to find a key, not shoot the lock. Otherwise, I would have said I need to shoot the lock. It's my story, and I decided that I needed a key. So shut the fuck up and grab it. Yes, sir. Alright, Mr. Zane, calm down.
Hey, let's go, man.
Let's make a break for it. Anderson's house.
I think we're gonna have to work together to open this gate, Al. Hey, I think that's the farm on the other side of the field. We're almost there. This farm is a crazy place for crazy people.
We should feel right at home then.
Valhalla? Ja, Valhalla.
Come on, one more gate. Let's do this thing.
Old gods know the truth. Okay, that's not creepy at all.
Guess we better check the fuse box. You know, this place looks kind of lived in.
Old gods know the truth. You said that before. Yo, check it out. Electric guitar. It's a page of my manuscript. It was a sentence about how I shave my ball hair into the shape of the continent of Africa. This is because I bless the rains down there.
downstairs was out, but I was sure I could fix that at the fuse box.
So I was meant to be upstairs. The game was secretly guiding me, or as I refer to it, my gravitation theory. In that games very cleverly gravitate you towards where you need to go.
Can you hear that, Al? Music?
Of course. We need to find where it's coming from. That's the message the Andersons talked about. That's the whole reason we're here.
Lady of the Light? Oh, that's gotta be... What's-her-face? The crazy lamp lady from the town.
Cynthia Weaver.
Right. Must be.
Hmm. Good song.
Okay.
We need to find Cynthia Weaver. We'll stay here for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light.
Hey, Al. Lots of hours before dawn. Might as well get some rest. And by rest, I mean drunk.
Come on, Barry, this is... Yeah, what the hell?
Drink that moonshine that is like moonbeams in your head.
I'm sorry about that. No, seriously, because I know we don't get along, but we're gonna find her, right? And even though you're a crazy bastard, I'm gonna stick by you, no matter what, ever, Al. Sure, like a brother.
I'm a writer, goddammit.
Correct.
If I just wanted to, I could write 10 books a year. And they'd be the best books that year.
No, you couldn't.
That's right, I couldn't. But I could, because I'm a writer.
What? What do they put in this stuff? I feel like my brain is coming out of my nose. I'm gonna get the recipe off those coots and be a booze millionaire.
I just miss her, Barry. I just want her here with me.
I know, Al. I know.
They re-rendered these cutscenes and his shirt still clips through his trousers. That's beautiful. Alright, take care, Jacob.
Whatever power had brought me back to this night at the lake was also stopping me from leaving. I had no choice but to see it through, to find out what had happened. It was a crazy drunken dream, and yet it was more than that. It was the truth, a suppressed memory unearthed by the Andersons' moonshine. I was there, an out-of-body observer. This was the night Alice and I had arrived at Bright Falls, the night Alice had disappeared. I had a chance to find out what had happened. I remembered being surprised to see the cabin dark. Alice would have never turned the lights off. I remembered thinking I caught a glimpse of her form underwater, sinking into the darkness. Diving after her was the last vague memory I had of that night. After that, the next thing I could remember was waking up behind the wheel of the crash car and finding the first pages of the manuscript. Beyond this lost memory, there was nothing. I had to follow the footsteps of my past self to find out what had happened that night. I couldn't find her in all that blackness. I must have thought she drowned. Jagger had Alice, and so she had me.
Alice!
I'd been easy prey.
Look at the cabin. Is there someone in the window?
Alice?
Maybe she didn't drown after all. Maybe she's inside.
Oh, what a bitch.
The dark presence had touched me. She had dug her nails into my brain and used me, made me her puppet.
Bitch. I've been had. I've been bamboozled.
She must be here somewhere. Maybe upstairs in the study.
Alice!
Yes, that's where she is. You can apologize.
Alice!
You'll laugh at the whole thing together and put it behind you.
Alice?
She's not here. You were foolish to think so. No, she's dead. She drowned.
No, no, no!
It's your fault your wife is dead. You are guilty. All she wanted was to help you right. You killed her. Oh, hush. There's still hope. Cauldron Lake is a special place. Here, you have the power to change things. She wanted you to write. I will tell you what to do.
Yes. Tell me what to do. I will believe you, creepy lady who had my cabin keys.
You can write her back. The story will come true, and all will be well again.
She had Alice, and the manuscript was the ransom for her.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
I'll
I'll
fix it.
write. I'll fix it.
bring her back.
I'll bring her back. C:// CD. Alan
I
Wake.
wrote it. I remembered it all now.
Run
In
right
the
dot
dark,
bat.
I'd written for days, a week,
Error.
almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure. Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Even with the cobwebs she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish, to interrupt the horror story before the ending, where darkness consumed everything and everyone. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was written. I brought the light to set you free. You must hurry. It will know I'm here. It will be back soon. It stole the skin of my Barbara a long time ago. She looks so old.
I had woken up, confused and groggy, my mind consumed by darkness and fear. All I could do was to escape. The week spent in the cabin had taken its toll. I was barely conscious and fading fast. It had to have cost Zane terribly, thrown him even deeper into whatever dark place he now haunted. But he had managed to weaken the dark presence, kept me safe that night.
That's why you don't drive drunk or tired. Reminds me of an ending I got in Silent Hill 1 once.
I wrote it. It's my fault.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
Oh no. It's the FBI guy. This is actually the perfect cutting off point. so I can get some decent sleep. End of episode 4.
Previously
Oh. Was it 5 episodes in the original Alan Wake? Something like that. We'll look it up. Six episodes. Episode 5, The Clicker. Episode 6, Departure. Special 1, The Signal. Special 2, The Writer. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Works for me. Alright, thank you very much for coming. Yeah. Need to get some sleep. Need to recover some energy for more box-related stuff tomorrow. Shifting boxes out of the office and replacing them with the contents of boxes that are in storage. Oh, is Soy streaming tonight? Is Soy streaming right now? Yeah. I'll go tell him hi. And then ask why all my regulars who watch me and Soy were watching him and not me. No. It's not a good idea to think like that. Until next time, if we live that long, take care, bye-bye.